The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN2 studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 2-6 Colfax Vikings, who are 1-2 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to step out of conference play and take on the 4-1 Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates, who are 2-1 in the Small Dairyland Conference. The Vikings are coming off a 59-45 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals last Friday, while the Pirates defeated the Alma Pepin Eagles 57-50 also on Friday. In tonight's edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 and Viking TV.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
Helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's non-conference clash between the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates and the Colfax Vikings. The 2-6 Vikings are hoping to bounce back following their 59-45 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals last Friday. The Pirates are looking to keep their winning going following their 57-50 win over the Alma Pepin Eagles. Now, in the Vikings' effort against Spring Valley, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'11 junior Aiden Fisher, who hit 6 field goals, including 3 three-pointers, and went 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 17 points. He was followed by 5'7 senior Elijah Ensminger, who canned 7 field goals, including a three-pointer for 15 points. The Pirates are currently tied for second place in the Small Dairyland Conference with a record of 2-1. The Pirates are 4-1 overall. So far this season, Cochrane-Fountain City is being led in scoring by both 6'1 junior Porter Airhat and 6'3 junior Cameron Lipinski. Both players are shooting around 45% from the floor while averaging right around 15 points per game. They're followed by 6'1 senior Drew Wicca, who's putting up 11.5 points per game. Now on the boards, the Pirates are being led by Wicca and Lipinski, who are grabbing an average of 6 rebounds per game each. Now thus far this season, the Vikings are being led in scoring by Ensminger, who's averaging 15 points per game. Aiden Fisher is also scoring in double digits with an average of 13.5 points per game. Eli Ralph is also contributing around 6.5 points per game. Leading the way rebounding for the Vikings is Blake Johnson, who's grabbing somewhere right around 8 boards per game, with Orion Nichols pulling down over 7. Now coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Noel on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
Here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood. Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Your family is your legacy. Planning for a natural disaster will make sure you're all safe. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Martin Knoll. And Coach, back on Friday, the Vikings battled hard, but came up short to the Spring Valley Cardinals by a score of 59-45. What can you tell us about that game?
Well, I thought the kids competed really hard. I thought they brought good energy. I thought they did exactly what I wanted them to do. We just unfortunately came up on the short end. We did take a lead in the second half. And then the last probably 6 minutes of the game, we just couldn't execute, and we just couldn't get things to fall our way.
You know, in that game, it seemed as though the Vikings appeared to be in a game that was a learning experience. Now, to my untrained eye, as the game progressed, the Vikings seemed to begin to figure out what it means to be in a pretty physical game. Your thoughts about the Viking learning process thus far this season?
Yeah, that's part of what we're in, right? Is in a learning curve. We're learning how to compete. We're learning how to be physical, and with our overall lack of size, we're learning how that we have to be physical. We got to put a body on people, box out every single time, and we can't take plays off. And that's any team, right? As any coach wants their team to compete every possession of the game. And we're getting closer to that.
Now tonight, the Vikings are going to step out of conference play to take on the high-powered Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. What can you tell us about the Pirates?
They're an up-tempo team. They're going to play probably 8 to 10 kids deep, and they're going to play a fast style of basketball. So they want to score, 70-plus points. So obviously, we're going to try to keep them down a little bit from where they normally want to be and see if we can make it a little bit of not a low-scoring game, but just more of a, like a 60-55 type game.
Now, on paper, it appears as though the Vikings will have to deal with basically a double-edged sword in a pair of juniors, Porter Earhat and Cameron Lipinski, who are putting up 16 points per game each. And then, if you have those two solved, don't forget about Drew Wicca, who's averaging over 11 points per game. What adjustments are the Vikings going to have to make to be able to pull out a victory tonight?
I think number one is I want to see us defensive rebound. I want to see us allow them one shot and rebound as much as possible. You're not going to do that every single time down the court, but I want to see more of those possessions where you get one and done is what I call it. And then I want to see us compete at a higher level. And that's something that I think we've accomplished by playing the teams that we've played in our non-conference schedule so far this year. That's helped us learn how to be more physical and play harder. So that should help us in a game like tonight.
Sounds to me like it's a big game for the transition game to come through.
Oh, yeah, defensive transition as well, right? That's right. Where it's going to be huge is the defensive transition of getting back and not allowing the 2-on-1s, 3-and-2s. And then on the flip side, we want to get those. We want to get in transition a little bit more. And I probably will play, more of our kids tonight and try to keep so that we're fresh at the end of the game.
Well, Coach Knoll, good luck on tonight's game. The original Vikings were seafaring warriors, and hopefully in this game, these Vikings can find a way to put the Pirates in the brig.
All right, go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Dunn St. Croix Conference is ready to take a break from conference play for the holidays. Now, as we look at what's been going on in conference race, last Friday, in addition to the Vikings dropping their game to the Spring Valley Cardinals 59-45, the Elk Mound Mounders hammered the Boyceville Bulldogs 90-48. Meanwhile, the Elmwood Plum City Wolves were defeated by the Durand, Arkansas Panthers 67-57, and the Mondovi Buffaloes were topped by the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 54-46. Last night, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers traveled to Amory to take on the Warriors, and the Prescott Cardinals hosted the Durand, Arkansas Panthers. Now, we hope to have those scores for you during tonight's broadcast. That leaves the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings as follows. Tied for first place with 3-0 records are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers and the Spring Valley Cardinals. Tied for third place at 2-1 and 1 game behind are the Elk Mound Mounders and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. At 1-2 and tied for fifth place, 2 games behind the leaders, are the Colfax Vikings along with the Mondovi Buffaloes. And in a tie for 7th place at 0-3 and 3 games out are the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Now tonight, the Vikings are the only Dunn St. Croix Conference team in action, and they're getting ready to take on the high-scoring Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. This game will be a good opportunity for the Vikings to prepare for the meat of their schedule following the holidays. So far this year, Cochrane-Fountain City is averaging 66 points per game while giving up 45. Now, on the other hand, the Vikings are averaging 44 while giving up 60. Now, this is going to be a good test for the Vikings to work on their defense against a high-powered offense. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to our broadcast crew at Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the action of tonight's game between the Colfax Vikings and the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Viking Boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. Stay tuned, coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Colfax Viking Boys Basketball is on the air.
He'll pass it out to Blake Johnson. He'll take the shot for 3. Vikings.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN2, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Boys Basketball. Swinger.
Down inside to Hoffman. He'll drive the right side of the lane, pop it up from 6. Good.
Join us as we follow the Vikings while they battle their way through the Dunn St. Croix Conference.
Charlo out to Ensminger for 3. He hits it.
And now out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
Good evening. Welcome to Colfax High School. The Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates of the Small Dairyland Conference are here. And they come in with a 4-1 season record, and they're 2-1. In the Small Dairyland, Colfax 2-6 overall. They're 1-2 in the Dunn St. Croix after splitting their conference games for last week. Jay Fall here with executive producer Rick Olson, and on the camera, Lynn Nigaman. Glad you could join us tonight. This is a non-conference tilt for the Viking boys, and we'll be sending it down here to the sidelines and for tonight's national anthem. And
Would everyone please stand if able? Remove your hats and place your hand over your heart to honor the flag as the national anthem is played.
Okay, that was the national anthem, and we're about to get the starting lineups, and I'll give them to you as they come running out on the floor. We'll start with the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates as they're taking on the Vikings tonight. So for the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates, starting off with number 163 junior Cameron Lipinski. Then number 2, 6'1" senior Drew Wicca. Then number 10, 5'9" junior Reed Schmidtneck. Then we have number 11, 6'2" senior Landon Halverson. And number 13, 6'1" junior Porter Erat. And the rest of the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. Now for the Vikings. Not much of a change here. 5'11" junior number 4, Aiden Fisher. 5'9" senior, number 10, Elijah Ensminger. 5'10" senior, number 15, Mason Yarrington. 6' senior, number 23, Blake Johnson. And 6'3" senior, number 33, Eli Ralph.
In the JV game played right before this one, Fountain Cochrane City won that one by a margin of 41-33. As we look on the court here at Colfax High School, the Vikings are in home white, red numerals and trim. They'll be moving from left to right as you look on. Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates are in black with red numerals and red and white numerals and white trim.
Let the officials officiate, and let the spectators be positive. Thank you, fans, players, and coaches, for letting your sportsmanship show. Have fun watching us play.
Eli Ralph with tonight's sportsmanship message. He's going to be jumping at center, along with Cameron Lipinski for the Pirates. 18 minutes on the clock. We're ready for the first half. Ball goes up and we're underway. The tip goes back to Blake Johnson. He'll bounce it back to Ensminger. He'll take it across the center jump circle. Give it to Ralph, left corner to the lane. Ensminger up from 12. Rolls off, no good. Rebounded by Drew Wicca. And Wicca will bring it up the floor for the Pirates. Wicca down in the far corner to Halverson. And Halverson gets it back right away. He goes up. That falls short. Ralph with the rebound. He'll give it to Johnson. The Vikings will bring it back up the court. It's Ensminger to Johnson. Johnson will go around the arch, give and go back to Ensminger. Ensminger will drive in and dish it off to Ralph too hard, but the pass comes off and Fisher gets it back to Yarrington, catches the iron. Ralph with the rebound. Back inside, Fisher drives in outside to Yarrington. Vikings will set it up again.
Pirates are in a man-to-man.
Blake Johnson to Ensminger.
Well, Coach Knoll didn't like that call.
No.
I'm not sure what it was, but he didn't like it.
Well, apparently you can't run out of bounds and back in, according to that official, to which Mark responded, who cares? Back at it, Schmidt connect, and then a pass goes down to Halverson, and he'll put in the first 2 points of the game on a left side layup. 2-0 CFC, 16:40 remains in the first half. Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger drives in, dishes off to Johnson. Johnson with a three-pointer, and the Vikings take the lead 3-2 over Cochrane-Fountain City. Pass goes up the floor to Lipinski, down underneath on the left side to Landon Halverson, and he lands the left side layup. Vikings will quickly bring it up the floor. That is Ensminger, and he'll pop it up from 10. Catches the iron, no good, and it's rebounded by Landon Halverson. Quickly up the floor, Schmidt connect, makes a shot, missed, and Porter Erat then outside the three-point arch to Lipinski, and that's rebounded by Johnson. Colfax ball up the floor to Yarrington. He'll look at a three ball from the near corner. Give and go to Ensminger. Then back out to Fisher. And they'll set it up again. Fisher drive it in. Off to Yarrington for three. From free throw line extended right. Vikings go up 6-4. Full court press by Colfax into Landon Halverson down underneath. It goes to Porter Erat, and he'll put in a layup on the right side. Ensminger up the floor for the Vikings. An open lane to the basket. He'll fire to Yarrington from the corner for three. Bounces off big, rebounded by Schmidt-Knecht. Fires to Wicca on the near side. Wicca for three. That one bounces out big, but Erat will come up with a rebound. Dish down in the far corner to Lipinski for three. We're tied at 9-6. Cochrane-Fountain City, under 15 minutes to go in the first. Ensminger at the mid-stripe, directing traffic. He'll fire it off to Mason Yarrington. Free throw line right. He'll drive it into the middle, look down underneath, and fire it over to Fisher. Fisher up from the free throw line. A little bit short, tipped out, and Fisher goes back to get it. Lots of players touched it, so there's no over and back. Ensminger, free throw line right. Now he'll drive toward the baseline, stops, tries to get in the middle, and it's picked off. Now stolen back by Blake Johnson. Over to Fisher. Fisher for three, bangs around and out. Rebounded by Johnson, and ball gets loose. Johnson gets it back from Ralph, and going up for a layup underneath on the right side is Elijah Ensminger, and he's fouled on the way up. That foul is going to be charged to Porter Erat. That is his first foul, as well as Fountain Cochrane City's first foul of the game, in fact. First free throw doesn't go. 14:08 remains, first half. Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates 9, the Colfax Vikings 6. And one more for the good guys, and it is 9-7 as Ensminger makes the second free throw. Schmickneck, and it's stolen away by Johnson. Johnson to Ensminger. Ensminger goes back up underneath for a shot and draws another foul. 13:56 remaining first half, 9-7, CFC.
That foul is on Lipinski, second team foul on the Pirates.
And Ensminger makes free throw number 1. Ensminger looks at skyward and sends it up and in. We're tied at 9 at 13:55 to go in the first half. Schmidt connect out of the backcourt. And a pass to Lipinski. That is taken away by Colfax. And it is Ensminger. Somebody tapped the backboard, but Ensminger got the layup in anyway. 11-9. Colfax. Wicca across the timeline to Erat. Back up the lane to Schmicknecht, and his shot falls short. Coming out with the ball is Fisher. Fisher will bring it up the center. He'll hand it off to Blake Johnson for 3, missed, rebounded by CFC's Landon Halverson. Stolen back by Johnson. Over to Ensminger. Ensminger looks at one to Fisher, and that one stolen away by the Pirates. Driving down Schmidt-Connect. He'll put it up on the left side, missed, and we will have a foul as Drew Wicca tried to get that rebound. That's going to be the first foul charged for the Vikings tonight, and that will go against Eli Ralph. Fresh legs in for the Vikings. Colfax leads by 2. Inbound throw goes into Thiush. Fletcher Thiush sends it back to Erat. Erat doubled up. He'll fire off to the opposite corner to Wicca. Wicca back inside to Halverson. Halverson tripled up. Outside to Austin Arneberg. Back to Wicca. Wicca will try to drive the left side. He's going to toss it back out on top to Austin Arneberg. Ball nearly got away. Porter Erat kept it, and then he banged it out of bounds.
They're going to load you with a tongue twister in there, Jay, because when Thiush is out high, he's being guarded by Theo.
Lots of these. Driving in Ensminger. Tosses it into the corner, and unfortunately, nobody there. It's going to be Cochrane-Fountain City ball.
Yeah, I think Ryan Nichols zigged when Theo thought he was going to, or Ensminger thought he was going to zag.
Join NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network on Thursday as the Viking girls host their arch rival Oak Mountain Mounders in a Dunn St. Croix Conference tilt, which could put the Vikings in a share of the first place in the conference. Give you more on that as we go along here. Cochrane-Fountain City driving in. Porter Erat up and in. 11 up. 11:52 left first half. Elijah Ensminger with the ball. Ensminger fires it over to Nichols. Nichols up off the glass and good. Colfax back in the lead by 2. 11:40 remaining. Austin Arnberg out of the backcourt to Wicca. And an alley-oop pass to Landon Halverson to win. Alley-oop over the top of his fingertips. Colfax going to get it back. We have a timeout on the floor. 11:33 to go. Here in the first half, it's Colfax 13, Cochrane-Fountain City 11. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Colfax. 11:33 remaining in the first half. Vikings lead by 2 over the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. Elijah Ensminger going to bring it out of bound, or out from the backcourt. He'll fire it into Nichols. Nichols driving in, and he's caught traveling.
Yeah, the feet were moving a little quicker than the hands were there. It was a nice break he made to the basket. He just forgot to put the ball to the floor on the first step.
Inbounds throw from Wicca to Arnberg. Back to Wicca. Across the timeline. Doubled up. Back down the line to Halverson, and he'll shoot it on the left side. Missed. Loose ball picked up by Ryan Nichols. Up the floor to Ensminger. Ensminger will wait off the glass. No good. Ensminger gets it back in the lane. He'll put it back up from 6. That one doesn't go. A fight for the ball, and Cochrane-Fountain City ends up with it this time. Shoots it up the floor to Halverson. Halverson to Erad. Erad trying a layup, and he's fouled on the way in.
I think that one's on Logan. Well, it wasn't. It was on Orion Nichols.
Yes. That's the second team foul for Colfax. CFC has 2 of them as well. And this is going to be a 2-shot free throw. Porter Erad. First one. Good. Live coverage of the Colfax girls against Elk Mound will begin with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m., followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax girls basketball this Thursday night, December 21st, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Second one bounces out big, but he gets his own rebound, dishes it down to Wicca. Wicca will pull it back outside the arch and set it up again. Wicca to Arnberg. Drives between the jump circle and the wheel, goes off to Erad. Ball gets loose on the floor. CFC picks it up. It gets back to Wicca. Wicca to Arneberg. Back to Wicca. Wicca's going to go right up the lane, bounce it down underneath right side to Halverson. He can't get a shot off. Tough defense tonight by the Viking boys. That shot goes up for Wicca, and he gets his own rebound out in the far corner. Cochrane-Fountain City's going to try it again. Ewert out to Halverson. Halverson goes in. What a block by Logan Schwartz.
He just got up on top and pile drive that ball right back down again.
10:05 remaining first half. Colfax 13, Cochrane-Fountain City 12. Inbounds throw to Wicca, then back outside for a 3. A big one by Fletcher Thieusch. 15-13, Cochrane-Fountain City. Fisher takes the ball on the right wing up near the Viking. Other corner of the lane over to Theo Hubdy. Hubdy off to Yarrington. Yarrington down in the far corner to Schwartz. Back out to Yarrington. Give and go to Hubdy, right side. Hubdy back to Yarrington. He'll go up to the top of the key. Will look, fires it off to Aiden Fisher. Fisher drives in, and he traveled. Took an extra step there as he was heading to the basket. 9:20 left in the first half. It's Cochrane-Fountain City 15, Colfax 13. Massive substitutions on the floor.
Starters are all back in for the Vikings.
Arnberg fires it up the floor to Erad, back to Arnberg. Arnberg down underneath to Lipinski, takes a shot, missed. Reload, missed by Thieusch. And it finally goes in for Jackson Nelson. Back up the floor, Nelson off the window. That one bounces out. Rebounded by Fisher. From the corner, Yarrington for 3. Across the timeline for CFC. We're going to have over and back.
He had not established himself in the forecourt. He was in the backcourt when the ball was thrown. He jumps in the air, lands in the forecourt. But that's over and back.
Yep. So Mason Yarrington's going to get the ball to throw it in for Colfax into Ensminger. Ensminger back to Mason. He's between the jump circle and the key, back to Ensminger. Over on the left side, Ensminger's going to drive in off the glass and in. Actually, just tossed that right over the rim.
That's 7 points for Ensminger.
Lipinski going in, and we're going to have a foul. And let's see, that is going to be charged to Blake Johnson. That's his first foul. Third
team foul
for Colfax. And first free throw is missed. Colfax by 1, 18-17, leading Cochrane-Fountain City with 8:05 to go in the first. Second one goes in as well. And Yarrington will toss it up to Ensminger for Colfax to start on offense again. Ensminger brings it back to the opening in the C, and he'll drive in off the glass. Miss, trying to get that rebound was Ralph, couldn't get it back. CFC ends up with it. Driving now, 10-foot shot, just goes short by Ty Pop. Or check that, that's Austin Arnberg. And ball's going back to the Vikings. We're tied at 18, 7:46 to go in the first. Ensminger across the center jump circle, drives the right side of the lane out to Yarrington. Yarrington for three, nails it! Mason Yarrington, great outside shooting tonight. Schmidt connect to Jackson Nelson, goes back into Erat, missed, and doubled up, and it's going to go back out and around to Arnberg. Back open as Fletcher Thiesch missed, and the rebound by Aiden Fisher of the Vikings. Fisher goes to Johnson, and Fisher for three, swish! Colfax 24, Cochrane-Fountain City 18, down under 7 minutes to go first half. Up the floor it goes to Lipinski. Lipinski around the rim, out, and it's tipped back in by Schmidt Connect. Colfax back with the ball, it's Ensminger. Ensminger dishes it back to Fisher. Fisher to set it up. He'll drive the right side of the lane. Mason Yarrington open from the corner. Three! Mason Yarrington, 12 points tonight, 4 3-pointers.
That's a new season high for Mason, and we're only in the first half.
And from the corner, Lipinski shot out, rebounded by Eli Ralph. Going up the floor again, Ensminger. Give and go out to Fisher. Back to Ensminger, Mason Yarrington. Crosses with him on the left side, and Ensminger going to set it up. Ensminger out to Yarrington, top of the key. 3-ball miss. Ball goes out of bounds. It's going back to CFC.
Well, Yarrington is hot, so just keep feeding him. I think that's what the Vikings are doing down there. That one was off the back of the iron, but it was a good idea, and he had a good look.
Ensminger has 7. Mason Yarrington has 12, so that's 19 of Colfax's 27 points. 5:50 left first half. 27-20 Vikings. Arnberg and Schmickneck back. And the feed goes inside to Halverson. Misses the shot. Johnson with a rebound down to Ensminger. Up. Shot missed. Rebounded by Cochrane-Fountain City. Trying to get it to Lipinski. Layup doesn't fall in, but the rebound taken by Peyton Nelson. And going up with a shot, Landon Halverson. And he's going to draw a foul for some free throws.
That's a foul on Yarrington. It's his first.
4th team foul for the Vikings. First free throw up and in for Landon Halverson. Halverson with his second makes that one as well. Vikings lead cut to 5, 27-22, leading Cochrane-Fountain City. 5:15 to go, first half. Ensminger to Fisher. Ball stolen by Landon Halverson, but he was on the sideline at one of the mid-stripes over there. So Yarrington's going to throw it in for Colfax to Elijah Ensminger. Ensminger give and go to Yarrington. Yarrington out to Johnson. Johnson up to the top of the key. Over to Eli Ralph. Ball knocked away, out of bounds.
Johnson just about dragged that pivot foot, and I'm not sure he didn't lift that pivot foot before he got rid of the ball, but maybe karma got him there and the ball went out of bounds.
Yeah. In the middle, it goes to Halverson. Halverson out to Wicca. Wicca actually passes it right to Blake Johnson in the lane for Colfax. Johnson waiting for somebody to come and help him out. He'll toss it over to Fisher. Fisher to Johnson. Johnson driving right side of the lane into a three. Back out to Yarrington. Yarrington give and go to Fisher. Down in the corner to Johnson. Shot falls short. Tapped to CFC. And pop. And now on the floor, we've got a rush for the ball, and that's going to result in a Colfax foul.
That foul is on Peyton Nelson.
So the foul on Cochrane-Fountain City. Ensminger left, open in the lane on the right side, goes in for the layup. 29-22 Vikings. Schmittneck out on the far sideline to Wicca, miss, ball gets loose. Pirates pilfer it, and going in, Drew Wicca on the right side for the bucket. 3.5 minutes to go, first half. Colfax by 5, 29-24 over Cochrane-Fountain City. Down in the near corner, it goes out to Blake Johnson, or check that, that's Orion Nichols, and he traveled. And Ensminger nearly steals that inbound pass. CFC on the half-court line, straddling it down to Lipinski, down underneath on the near side, and he's called for a travel. Things getting a little rushed here. 29-24 Colfax. 3:14 left first half. Yarrington into Ensminger. Crosses the 10-second line, moving right to left, drives in. Fires out to Logan Schwartz. Ball bounces around, doesn't go in. Schwartz trying to get the rebound, and he ends up going over the top of Reed Schmidt-Connect. Exactly 3 minutes to go in the first half. Colfax leading by 5, 29-24 in boys basketball. Ball quickly goes across the court right into the hands of Logan Schwartz of Colfax. Back out to Ensminger. Ensminger shot in and out. Ensminger trying to get it back. It'll be Porter Erat then out to Lipinski. Three-pointer missed. It's Morgan by Schwartz. And that one goes over the top. And we will have a foul on the Pirates. Number 2. Drew Wicca, that's his first.
Each team with 5 fouls.
2:35 remaining, first half. Ensminger out of the backcourt for Colfax. Across the timeline, give and go to Yarrington. Back out in the far corner to Fisher, and stolen away by Halverson. Halverson going up on the baseline, missed, and foul's going to be called on Logan Schwartz.
That's his second.
So on the free throw line for Cochrane-Fountain City is Landon Halverson. He'll get 2. First one up and in. 29-25 Vikings. I have some more substitutions here. Blake Johnson coming in to give Orion Nichols a break. Landon Halverson with a fairly quiet gym to put in his second free throw. And the Vikings lead cut to 3, 29-26 over Cochrane-Fountain City. 2:15 remaining here in the first half.
Let's not foul Halverson anymore. He's 4 for 4.
Ensminger up. Nice 10-foot shot goes in. 31-26, 5-point Colfax lead. 2 minutes left in the first half.
That's 11 points for Ensminger.
Wicca, give and go and flying in with a short shot. Halverson rebounded by Colfax into Yarrington. Yarrington on the baseline heads out to the far corner, gets into Fisher. Fisher trying to get a pass into Eli Ralph. And Ralph's going to be called for another foul.
That'll be his second.
So the Pirates are in the bonus, 1-1. Be sure to make your plans to tune in to either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN TV for our Christmas gift to you 2023. We'll bring you the finest in Christmas themed old-time radio programs. First free throw is good. That's Christmas Eve coming up Sunday night beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Landon Halverson sinks the second one as well. It's back to a 3-point Colfax lead.
He's now 6 for 6. Like I say, we don't have to follow him anymore.
No. Approaching a minute and a half, Ensminger, top of the key, off to the left, fires it back to Aiden Fisher. Fisher with a 17-footer.
I don't care if he called the bank or not. It's good.
Driving in, Schmidt necked in. It's stolen away by Fisher. Fisher gets it back to Ensminger. Ensminger up from 7. Shot bounces out. It tipped almost to Fisher. Schmidt goes down, and he'll put in a layup on the left side. Or actually, yeah, that is. No.
Erat.
And we will have a foul charge to Porter Erat. Vikings not in the bonus yet, as that is the 6th foul.
That's a second on Erat.
Inbounds to Mason Yarrington. Yarrington across the timeline. Into Ensminger. And we have another foul charge to Logan Schwartz.
That's 3.
He picked those up fairly quick. 44 seconds left in the first half. Colfax 33, Cochrane-Fountain City 30. Boys basketball. Wicca gets it back, goes for a layup, falls short. Rebound by Orion Nichols in traffic. Back to Ensminger from Fisher. Ensminger layup, good! 35-30 Colfax.
That was a really nice spinning layup that Ensminger did. Kept his feet and put it off the glass and in.
And another big shot. Mason Yarrington trying for the rebound. And he's fouled by Cameron Lipinski, and that should be the 7th foul.
Yeah, it should put them to the line. It's Lipinski's second.
Yep. So Mason Yarrington's going to shoot 1-1. Join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 this Friday, December 22nd, as the Viking boys will play host to the Augusta Beavers in a non-conference matchup. Viking pregame begins at 6:40 with a live play-by-play to follow. Mason Yarrington makes free throw number 1. That's Viking boys basketball on Friday on NLWN2. And the second free throw good as well. Viking lead back up to 7. 15 seconds to go here in the first half. Full court pressure by Colfax. De La Torre bounces it across the timeline. And the three-pointer by Schmidt will be an Ensminger. Fires one from half court. And so at the end of the first half, the Colfax Vikings boys lead Cochrane-Fountain City by a score of 37-33. Stay tuned now for Viking halftime, and we'll be back shortly. You're watching boys basketball, Colfax Vikings on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Austin and Nikki Pritchard are just what the doctor ordered. In fact, they are the doctors and they're ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub. If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Me the babe, see you in the morning. With the first date, Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Orion Nichols, who's a sophomore here at Colfax High School. And Orion, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Yeah, I'm involved in golf and football.
Okay, how did the football season go for you?
Not that well. we were pretty bad.
Well, you made some of them very interesting, though.
Yeah, we were close on many games, like Turtle Lake and Clear Lake. We could have won those games with a few different plays.
Then that's a sign of things to come.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has it been for you?
So, when I was younger, I wrestled until 7th grade, but during my 8th grade year, I decided to stop wrestling and played basketball, which has been a fun experience.
Okay, what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Teamwork is key. If you don't have a team, you don't really have anything.
All right, so when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other activities that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to hunt with my parents. We go up to the Shawamigan up by Shell Lake, and we go up there for Thanksgiving and hunting season.
Very good. Got a few rapid-fire questions for you here. You've probably heard some of these. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
Which flavor?
Chocolate.
Okay, kind of the generic, good for all seasons kind of ice cream.
Yeah.
All right. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Burger.
What do you want on that burger?
Cheese, bacon, and ketchup.
There you go. That's pretty basic burger, but what the heck?
Exactly.
Yep. Favorite color?
Blue.
Is there a reason for that?
Not really.
Just like blue?
Yeah.
All right. If you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be?
Flying, probably.
Flying. Okay, now, if you have the ability to fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Orion's superhero name?
I don't know.
Well, Orion's a constellation up in the sky, so maybe Orion is good enough.
Probably.
Okay. Favorite NBA team?
I've got to go with the Bucks.
All right. How about collegiate team?
Wisconsin.
All right. Is there a basketball player at any level of the sport who's influenced the way you play your game?
Not really. I just kind of play and try and do the best I can.
That's very good. We are talking with Orion Nichols today on Viking Profile. And Orion, what are your plans for after high school?
I don't got any plans right now.
Oh, you're only a sophomore, so you got plenty of time to figure that out. How about a shout out to the family?
Yeah, my mom always been a big influence on me, always cares about me and puts me in the best situation I can to do good in life.
Very good. And thanks, Mom, for doing that. When people watch Viking games, where are they going to find you on the floor?
Usually at the 4 position.
Okay. All right, so you're going to mix it up with the big timber?
Usually, yeah.
Okay. We want to thank Orion for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
Welcome back to Colfax Halftime. The Colfax Vikings lead the Cochrane-Fountain City Boys by a score of 37-33. Rick, what do the numbers look like?
Well, we'll start with the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates. They're being led in scoring by Landon Halverson. He's got 10 points, 2 field goals, and 6 for 6 from the line. He's followed by Porter Erat with 7, and Cameron Lipinski with 6. Then comes Drew Wicca with a couple points. Fletcher Thusch, I don't know how you were saying that one.
Thusch.
Okay, with 5. And Reed Schmidtneck with 3. For the Vikings, they were led by Mason Yarrington, who has a season-high 14 in just the first half. 4 3-pointers and a pair of free throws. Then comes Elijah Ensminger with 5 field goals and 3 for 4 from the line for 13 points. Then comes Aiden Fisher with 5 points, Orion Nichols with 2, and Blake Johnson with 3 for 37. 37-33 at halftime, Jay.
And you're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
More basketball action here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Thursday night, the Viking girls host Elk Mound here in a game which has a share of first place on the line. And on Friday night, the boys will host the Augusta Beavers. Both Viking pregame start at 6:40. Live play-by-play to follow. Girls on NLWN TV and the boys on NLWN 2. Okay. Well, we're waiting for something. I'm not sure.
We got to round up some zebras.
Oh, yeah, I guess didn't even, yeah.
Players are on the floor. They're ready. Who needs officials? We play lots of basketball games without officials.
Yeah.
It's amazing what doesn't get called then.
Yeah. You think nothing gets called when they're out there, you know. All right, well, while we're waiting for them, they're probably, you know, getting ready for Christmas, and be sure to make your plans.
Oh, here comes one.
Okay, to tune in to either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN TV for our Christmas gift to you 2023. We'll bring you the finest in Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's Christmas Eve beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
There's some good shows on there too. One of my favorites is on there. It's an episode of Gunsmoke from back in the radio days. It's a really nice Christmas story.
So we're going the other way, and immediately CFC Schmidt Connect is caught, but he'll get the ball up the court, and putting in the layup will be Porter Erat. So the Vikings still in home white. They're moving right to left now here in the second half, so it's flipped around as Ensminger, top of the key, will dish it off to Fisher. Fisher directs Yarrington down there. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Drew Wicka. Colfax keeps it. 17 and a half minutes remaining in regulation. Colfax with a 2-point lead. Yarrington into Fisher. Back out on top to Ensminger. He'll set things up. CFC still playing a man-to-man. Give and go. Yarrington to Fisher. Fisher back to Ensminger. He'll pop it up from 12. Good. 39-35 Colfax in the backcourt. It's Schmidt-Knecht. He'll try to get it down to Lipinski. And he threw the ball right to the official standing out of bounds.
Well, maybe that's why the officials were late. They didn't feel like they were appreciated and allowed to play the game, and he was just trying to help out.
That's it. Ensminger across the timeline. Top of the key for three. Rolls around out. Rebounded by Drew Wicka. Wicka will drive it up the floor with Ensminger guarding him closely. Trying to get that ball out of there down in the far corner. Foul is going to be charged to Eli Ralph, and he's not very happy about that.
That's his third.
That's why he's not very happy.
Which is a bit of a problem for the Vikings because their two big guys have 3 fouls on them now.
Ryan Nichols is going to come in to replace him. Landon Halverson out to number 1, Cameron Lipinski, or don't check that, Drew Wicka drains the 3 ball. And now Colfax's lead is cut to 1, 39-38. Ensminger drives along the lane, and the shot, or trying to save the ball from going out of bounds, CFC. It's going back to the Vikings. Blake Johnson underneath. Johnson into Ensminger. Ensminger has it stolen away. That one's going back to Colfax as it went off white 10 instead of black 10. Reed Schmidt-Knecht tried to save it. He's going to toss it inbounds. Drew Wicca and Schmidt-Necht. Halfway down the floor goes down to Landon Halverson. Halverson out to Schmidt-Necht. To Lipinski. Lipinski doubled up on the baseline. Wicca will get the ball back. And Schmidt-Necht will swish it in from the top of the key for three. And now Cochrane-Fountain City takes their first lead in a while, 41-39. Give and go, Fisher. Fisher in to Orion Nichols. Out in the corner it goes to Ensminger. Ensminger makes a nice move, and we're going to have jump ball called. No, it looks like we're going to have a foul.
It's a foul on Halverson.
So that's going to send Elijah Ensminger to the free throw line for a pair of free throws.
It's only the first foul on Halverson.
Ensminger makes free throw number one. And cuts the gap to one in favor of Cochrane-Fountain City. And with the second free throw going in, we're tied, 41-all.
5 for 6 from the free throw line for Elijah Ensminger.
15:39 remaining, second half. Having a little conversation there on the end line, and it goes in. Schmidt-Necht and Lipinski. And then they try to dash it down to Erat, and it's knocked away by the Vikings. Yarrington comes up the floor, tries to get it up to Logan Schwartz, and he almost tipped it into the basket.
That was almost like a backhanded shot.
Yeah. Vikings will get it back. Tied at 41, 15-18 to go second half. And we'll have some more substitutions.
Drew Wicca and Cameron Lipinski take a seat for the Pirates.
Ensminger into the center, pops it up from 13, miss, rebound by Cochrane-Fountain City. They get it to open Landon Halverson, who will put in the layup, or that's Erat. And three-point shot by Nichols. And we'll have a foul underneath. That one is going to be called on Mason Yarrington. And that's his second. Out of the backcourt. Pass fired to Erat. They'll go in on the left side for the layup, nearly knocked away by Yarrington. And it goes out of bounds off Schmidt-Necht.
Yarrington got a hand in there, caused him to mishandle the ball.
Yarrington and Ensminger. Ensminger across the timeline. Top of the key. Maintains his dribble. Pops it up from the corner of the lane. Missed. Rebounded by Landon Halverson of the Pirates. Halverson to Schmidt-Necht. And he'll get it back, put it up from the corner over the top, right into the hands of Aiden Fisher. Fisher back to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Yarrington, free throw line right down in the far corner to Nichols. Nichols stops in the lane, outside to Ensminger for three, nails it. Vikings take the lead back 44-43. Under 14 minutes to go first half. Arnberg gets it down to Halverson, and that ball goes flying out of bounds. Colfax gets it back.
By the way, Ensminger has 20 points on the night.
Ensminger nice and easy out of the backcourt. Dribbles toward the bench. Across the timeline. Dribbles off to the left wing, and will fire it to Johnson. Give and go back to Elijah. Elijah goes up off the glass. Won't make it. Halverson with a rebound for CFC to Theusch. And now outside the arch, Austin Arneberg drills the three-pointer. Pirates back in the lead, 46-44. Ensminger driving the left side of the lane, up. Hits the rim, doesn't go in, rebounded by Schmidt-Knecht. Schmidt-Knecht fires right in the center to Halverson. Halverson will go up on the left side, and that is foul number 4 for Logan Schwartz. No, actually, they're going to charge that to Blake Johnson, which is a good thing because Schwartz had a very worried look on his face down there.
It looked to me like it was on Schwartz.
Well, yeah. Landon Halverson with the missing the first free throw. Exactly 13 minutes to go in the ball game. Cochrane-Fountain City 46, Colfax 44. Second free throw goes in. Pirates lead goes up to 3. And we'll have a few more substitutions. Girls basketball on NLWN TV. Lady Vikings host the Elk Mound Mounders here Thursday night. Pregame 6:40. Play-by-play following that on NLWN TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Driving in, Blake Johnson puts the shot up from 10, missed. Ball goes out of bounds off the Pirates.
Lipinski got a finger on it before it went out of bounds, and that's why the Vikings get it back.
Johnson on the left side into Yarrington. Bounces it into Fisher. Fisher drives left side, goes up. And we're going to have a foul charge to Drew Wicca of the Pirates.
Should be his second. And it was on the floor before he went up for the shot.
And we have a timeout by Colfax. 47-44, Cochrane-Fountain City. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining?
Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Welcome back. 12:43 remains, second half. Vikings with the ball underneath their own basket, trailing by 3 to Cochrane-Fountain City. Yarrington into Fisher, and he puts it right in. Pirates lead cut to 1 as they bring it up the floor. Flip back to Austin Arnberg. Down on the baseline to Erat. Around to Lipinski. Back out on top. Open on the left side. Erat misses the layup. He'll reload, goes up and in, and is fouled on the way up. And there's your fourth foul for Logan Schwartz. CF City to get a three-point play out of the deal with one free throw after the successful basket by Cameron Lipinski. Join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Friday, December 22nd as the boys will play host to the Augusta Beavers in a non-conference matchup. Free throws good. Viking pregame begins at 6:40. Live play-by-play to follow. That's Viking Boys Basketball Friday on NLWN2, and we're going to have a travel charge to Mason Yarrington. CFC to bring it up with a 4-point lead. Theus traveled now. Back to Colfax. Inbounds to Blake Johnson. Johnson around the center jump circle. Johnson driving left side, fires it out. Eli Ralph. Back to Fisher. Fisher goes up. He's called for the travel.
One too many steps.
I've had a bunch of those here in the second half. And rapid fire.
Well, you know, it is the holidays. People are traveling.
Best to avoid it on a basketball court, though. And loose ball goes to Eli Ralph. To Blake Johnson, out to Aiden Fisher. Back to Johnson. He takes it from left to right, pulls back a little bit. Johnson will drive in, scoop it up, no good. Rebounded by Cameron Lipinski of the Pirates. Lipinski will bring it up the floor. Yarrington and Hubney guarding him closely. Fletcher Theuch goes up, and he will fire it over to Austin Arneberg, who will put in the three-pointer. Free throw line extended right. 53-46. Cochrane-Fountain City lead with just under 11 minutes to go.
Arnberg has 6 second-half points.
And the loose ball went off Colfax. It's going back to the Pirates. And we have a timeout on the floor called by Colfax. 10:54 remaining second half. Cochrane-Fountain City 53, Colfax Viking Boys 46. And you're watching it on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN 2. And Viking TV.
Let Menominee Eye and Optical help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comroe provide both comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract and LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eye care for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, located at 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality, personalized care for you and your family.
Welcome back. Jay Fall here with executive producer Rick Olson and Lynn Nigaman on our camera tonight, bringing you Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. Right now they're trailing the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates by 7. JV Vikings fell 41-33 earlier tonight.
Vikings sitting a little bit of a cold streak, putting shots up. They're still playing very tough, tight defense, which to some degree is disrupting and frustrating Cochrane-Fountain City, but they're just not getting the shots to go.
Reed Schmidt-Knecht throws it into Cameron Lipinski. Schmidt-Knecht gets it back. Ball nearly stolen away. Theuch caught in the lane. Now they'll have to go out to the far corner to Lipinski. Lipinski, shot goes up, but 3-second violation.
We haven't seen very many of those 3-second violations called this year, but there was one of them.
Out of the backcourt for Colfax, it's Elijah Ensminger. Give and go to Mason Yarrington, out to Fisher. Down to the left side to Nichols, back up on top to Eli Ralph. And it is Ensminger, three-pointer, bangs around and out, no good. Rebounded by Reed Schmidt-Knecht. Schmidt-Knecht gets it out to Arnberg, down in the near corner, popping it up. His Theuch shot missed, and Yarrington comes up with a rebound. He'll keep it in the backcourt to let the Pirates clear out a little bit. Off on the left wing, it goes to Ensminger. Ensminger out to Fisher. Fisher coming in from the right, putting the shot up short. Ralph trying to put it back up. Rebounded. Ralph gets it, fires it back out to Ensminger. He'll drive in off the glass and good. 53-48, Colfax trailing by 5. Driving in, and it is from the corner for 3. That is Peyton Nelson.
First
from the
points
corner,
for Nelson.
Ensminger, he puts it in for 2. Pass into Theuch, top of the key. Theuch out to Schmidt-Knecht.
Vikings still in that.
Lipka.
Vikings still in that 2-3 zone.
Back in the middle, it goes out to Arneberg. Fired in the lane, goes to Drew Wicca, misses the layup, and it's rebounded by Aiden Fisher of the Vikings. Fisher out to Nichols, to Yarrington for three. From the sidelines, pulls the Vikings to within three. Up the floor for the Pirates, Theus. Theus goes underneath, ball knocked down, rebounded by the Vikings, Nichols. Nichols out to Ansminger. Fires a quick pass, and nobody's there on the fast break.
He thought that Eli Ralph was going to break to the outside, and instead Eli Ralph went to the basket. Little miscommunication that time.
Yeah. Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates 56, Colfax Viking Boys 53. We're in the second half.
By the way, Yarrington now has 17 points on the night.
Near corner, it is Erat, shot missed. Rebound goes into the hands of Blake Johnson. Johnson to Ansminger. Give and go out to Fisher. Inside to Ralph. To Johnson. To Ansminger. Ansminger loses the ball, saves it. Ansminger dribbles around a screen set by Yarrington, fired off to Johnson. Back out to Yarrington, three-pointer rolls off, miss, ball is loose. And the Pirates pick it up. Austin Arnberg fires a pass way over the top of Lipinski's hands, and that ball went off. Well, let's see, that went off
Lipinski.
One of the Pirates.
And Johnson grabbed it and threw it off the legs of Lipinski before it went out of bounds.
7:20 left to go, second half. Colfax trailing Cochrane-Fountain City by 3. Johnson out to Fisher, to Mason Yarrington, back out to Ansminger. Ansminger, free throw line left. Ansminger, reverse layup, too hard, goes off. And the pass attempt to Lipinski goes ahead of him, and that goes out of bounds. Colfax will get it back. A couple quick turnovers here, and we're still at 56-53 CFC. Ansminger fires it over to Fisher for three. From the top of the key, we're tied at 56. And a nice shot block in there by Eli Ralph. Trying to go in was Porter Erat. Got his hand on the ball and knocked it away from the hoop and out of bounds. Halverson will go out on top. Jackson Nelson trying to get rid of the ball. Dishes it off to Lipinski. Off on the right side, it goes into Landon Halverson. And that is going to be foul number 4
on Eli
Ralph. Putting Landon Halverson on the free throw line.
So Ralph has 4 and Logan Swartz has 4.
First free throw missed.
That's
6:20 left, second half. We're tied at 56 as of right now. Landon Halverson on the free throw line, up. Shot missed. We're still tied at 56.
Well, as hot as he was from the free throw line in the first half, Halverson's missed 3 for 4 in the second half.
Ansminger driving around. He'll go up for a shot and draws a foul.
I think it's on Erat. Nope, I'm mistaken again. It's Schmidtneck with his second personal.
And first free throw by Elijah is missed. Drew Wicca checking back in now for Jackson Nelson for the Pirates. 6:04 remaining second half, and we are tied at 56 in Colfax. And now the Vikings lead by 1.
And Ensminger is 6 for 8 from the line tonight.
Schmicknecht across the timeline to Wicca. Wicca doubled up on in the corner. Goes out to Erat. Erat for 3. Missed, and the rebound grabbed by Schwartz, and he had to give it up. Goes back up by Lipinski, and around the rim and down finally for Landon Halverson of the Pirates. Ensminger out to Fisher. Fisher for 3. Bounces off big, and rebounded by the Pirates, and Ensminger comes up with the ball as Halverson was dribbling. Ensminger, layup for good for 2, 59-58 Vikings. 5:20 remaining, second half. Schmicknecht down in the corner to Halverson. Loose ball gets passed to the Vikings. And now Ensminger loses it, dribbling behind his back, driving in. Halverson puts in a layup on the left side. 60-59 Pirates, under 5 minutes left. Fall-away jumper, 7-footer good, or 5-footer. That is by Elijah Ensminger. We have a timeout on the floor. Colfax 61, Cochrane-Fountain City 60. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Colfax. 4:48 left, second half. Cochrane-Fountain City is going to bring the ball back up. Colfax leads 61-60.
With that last shot by Elijah Ensminger, he now has 29 points on the night, 16 points in the second half.
Wicked Lipinski over to an open Schmicknecht, and he nails it from the far corner for 3.
That's 9
Pirates
points
by 2.
for Schmicknecht, all on 3-pointers.
Ensminger near the half-court line over on the right wing. Fires it into Johnson. Johnson doubled up on, back out to Ensminger. Drives in, up from 13, rolls around, no good, rebounded by Lipinski. And back up the floor, it'll go to the far corner, and now free throw line extended left, missed, rebounded by Fisher. Fisher, free throw line left, give and go out to Johnson along the near side. Johnson into Schwartz. Schwartz off the glass, and good. We're tied again at 63. 3:38 remaining, second half.
Schwartz playing hard out there with 4 fouls on him.
And pass goes to Erat. Erat tries to get it over to Lipinski, and Ensminger ends up with it.
Schwartz got a hand on it, tipped it over to Ensminger.
And up from 14, good! Colfax up by 2, 65-63.
31 points for Ensminger.
3:08 remaining. Erat back and forth with Lipinski. Erat down on the left side, tries to put it up too hard, and it is rebounded by Aiden Fisher. Fisher looking up the floor. Fisher up to Johnson. Johnson to Fisher. Fisher out, and we're going to have a player control foul charged to Aiden Fisher.
That's only his first. 5th team foul on the Vikings this half.
2:41 left, second half. Colfax 65, Cochrane-Fountain City 63.
Check that. That was the 6th team foul this half.
Over on the far side, Lipinski from the sidelines missed, and a struggle for the rebound jump ball.
Viking fans think that that was an over-the-back foul, but I think he had the ball before he was over the back. Vikings have it on alternate, or the possession arrow.
Yeah. So they end up with it anyway. Ensminger in the backcourt. 10 on 10. Schmickneck guarding him. Ensminger fires into Fisher. Fisher dumps it off to Ralph. Good! Colfax stretches their lead to 4.
First 2 points of the night for Eli Ralph, but those are big ones.
Schmickneck gets it back, fires it over to Erat. Down in the far corner to Wicca. Wicca goes up, loses the ball out of bounds. And Cochrane-Fountain City wants a timeout. 2:01 remaining second half. Colfax 67, Cochrane-Fountain City 63. You're watching Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Crystal, one of Santa's elves. Santa wanted to talk with you about a special program coming up on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. But as you can see, he's pretty busy right now, so we better not disturb him. So I'll tell you what's up. A little earlier, Santa and I got together and picked out some of the very best holiday-themed old-time radio programs, and we're going to present them to you during Santa's flight on Christmas Eve. So tune in to the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service, or NLWN TV, while Santa and I bring you the best in old-time radio. It all starts at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I'll see you.
Some full court pressure in the backcourt. Fisher gets loose. CFC with it. Wicca gives it back to Lipinski, and he'll drive in with a layup on the left side. Colfax lead cut to 2. And Eli Ralph trying to get the ball.
Tipped out of bounds by the Pirates.
So to throw it in bounds will be Blake Johnson. Johnson into Ralph. Ralph breaking for the basket. Dishes it off to Ralph. And ending up right on top of him is Landon Halverson.
Well, they didn't miss that foul.
No, that one was hard to miss.
And the Viking fans were much happier with that call.
But he did not get a shot off, so Vikings will have it underneath their own basket. Johnson. And going up for it is Fisher. Fisher got a shot attempt off.
I think it's on Lipinski is going to be the foul. Well, maybe not. Nope.
Austin Arnberg, yep. His first. So on the free throw line, Aiden Fisher.
That's the 5th team foul.
Fisher makes free throw number 1. Vikings lead by 3, 68-65 over Cochrane-Fountain City. 1:36 remaining. Second half, make that a 4-point lead. And ball flipped quickly up the floor to Lipinski. He'll drive in on the left side, go right in. Colfax lead cut to 2. In the backcourt with it is Ralph. And ball is stolen away by Schmittneck. And so we had a bench warning. I think it's bench warning on Colfax. Anyway, well, you have a timeout on the floor. We're knotted up at 69. 1:19 to go And you're watching Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 are excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Boys Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Friday, December 22nd, when the Vikings will host the Augusta Beavers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN2 begins with Viking Pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2 on Friday, December 22nd.
Colfax has the ball. Bounce passed into Fisher. Fisher back to Johnson. Johnson across the timeline. Ensminger loops back into the backcourt to get it. Give and go up on top. 1:05 remaining. Tied at 69 in regulation. Blake Johnson. Johnson looking for that good shot into Ralph. Open, good! Colfax 71, Cochrane-Fountain City 69. Up the floor, Schmidt-Necht, and from the corner for three. Miss, rebounded by Johnson to Ralph, out to Ensminger. Ensminger will drive it up the floor. Colfax leading by 2, and we're going to have a foul. And that foul is going to be charged to Landon Halverson. That is his third. Each team has 6 fouls. So the next foul by either team is going to send the other into the bonus. 31.8 remaining in regulation. Colfax leading by 2. Into Ensminger.
Under 30.
Ensminger. Cross the timeline, doubled up on, manages to get it to Fisher. Fisher underneath, Ralph, good! Eli Ralph with another key basket underneath. Cochrane-Fountain City with the ball going in on the baseline. And we're going to have a foul. That is going to be charged to Aiden Fisher.
They got a blocking foul for on Fisher.
So Porter Erat is on the free throw line for Cochrane-Fountain City. The Pirates trail Colfax by 4. 9.5 seconds to go in regulation.
He took a knee into the solar plexus and was a little slow getting up.
So Porter Erat sends the first one up. Good. Colfax 73, Cochrane-Fountain City 70. 9.5 seconds remaining in the second half. Timeout on the floor. You're watching Colfax Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2 and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV is excited to once again be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2023 through 2024 season. Our next game will be on Thursday, December 21st, when the Vikings will host the Elk Mound Mounders. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking Pregame at 6:40 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, December 21st.
73 for the Colfax Viking Boys, 70 for the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates of the Small Dairyland Conference. Be sure to make your plans to tune into either the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service or NLWN TV. For a Christmas gift to you, 2023, we'll bring you the finest in Christmas-themed old-time radio programs. That's Christmas Eve beginning at 7 p.m. on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Porter Erat with the second of his 2 free throws, 9.5 seconds remaining in the second half. Shot goes up and in. So now it is a 2-point Colfax lead, 73-71. On the baseline to throw it in, Aiden Fisher. Full court pressure by the Pirates. The inbounds throw goes in to Blake Johnson, and he's fouled. 8.1 seconds remain. Second half, Colfax 73, Cochrane-Fountain City 71.
Fouls on Austin Arnberg. It's his second, which isn't so critical as it is the 7th foul on Cochrane-Fountain City.
So both teams are in the bonus now. First by Blake Johnson, good.
That's a biggie.
74-71. One more in the 1+1. Johnson makes that one as well, and that is a 4-point Colfax lead with 8 seconds. Cochrane-Fountain City, 3 ball by Erat. Miss, loose ball picked up by Schmittneck, and 4, and it's missed from the sidelines. The Colfax Viking Boys come from behind and hang on to defeat the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates, 75-71 from Colfax. Tonight's Colfax Viking Boys Basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Doctors Austin and Nikki Pritchard and their friendly staff take care of your pet. C&K Construction, your concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality personalized care for you and your family. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And be sure to thank these fine sponsors for doing or by doing business with them very soon. Stay tuned for Viking Postgame. You're watching Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in part or in whole in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame with a look back at today's game.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
The pets.
Welcome back to Colfax. Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings, with us. And Mark, congratulations. That one was exciting.
Yeah, it was. It was a great high school game. I mean, the people that paid for their tickets tonight got their money's worth.
You bet.
Even those of us who didn't pay for our
Yeah.
tickets got our money's worth.
many things came together well for you tonight.
Yes. The kids made extra passes, I thought. They executed what we were trying to execute with all of our little quick hitters and whatnots. And I thought they shared the ball really well. And it was awesome to see, Elijah have a career high tonight with 31 points and Mason Yerington with a career high of 17 points.
You bet. And this went back and forth. You trailed at halftime, and it went back and forth in the second half. And even when you were down, your boys stayed with the game plan and held them off.
Well, we actually had the lead at halftime.
Oh, we did.
But we did. Yes, they did take the lead in the second half, and we got down by 7. And that's kind of what I was telling the boys there after the game, that I thought they did a great job of not freaking out. 2 weeks ago, we would have freaked out. So we've grown in 2 weeks to the point where we're not yelling and screaming at each other now, and we're being patient and looking for the open people.
You bet. And your inside game, tough. Both of aggressive.
Yeah.
Both of your big guys
had foul trouble tonight. But they both played hard. They both had some rebounds, tips, whatnot. They just got kind of out of position a couple times with their footwork, and that's where those fouls happened. Was more their lower half of the body more than the upper half.
But they didn't panic in that either.
No.
I saw Logan Schwartz, 4 fouls on him, and he was still going hard.
Yes.
And you know what? I think he realized, they get a 5th foul on me, Eli's coming in.
Yeah.
Eli's coming.
Yeah, and I thought Logan, because he's been limited. He was sick here a little over a week ago, so he played probably the most minutes he's played this year was tonight's. But he did some good stuff for us as well. So I was proud of the boys because that was a good team. They were like 6-1 or something like that coming into the night. They're a high-scoring team. They've beaten Ellsworth. They beat Osseo Fairchild. So they have a couple good wins underneath their belt. And them and Whitehall will be probably the 2 teams that will fight it out for a conference championship.
And you've beaten them both.
Yes, and we beat both of them. So that's a great feather in our hat.
You bet. What do you expect on Friday with the Augusta Beavers?
Obviously we're at home again, which is nice, right? It'll be our 3rd game in a row at home. It'll be probably a game where the ball's going to be flying around. The people in the first 2 rows probably should wear hard hats because the ball will be flying around.
Okay, all right. Safety glasses option.
Yes.
I'm just glad we're up here, yes.
You'll be safe up here, maybe. But thanks again. I love that you guys are here. I love that you guys put this time in for the community and for everything, Rick. So I appreciate it. And I know everyone watching back at home appreciates it. Thank you very much.
Fun one tonight.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Mark Knoll, head coach of the Colfax Vikings. And we'll be back with more of Viking Postgame. You're watching the Colfax Viking Boys Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN2, and Viking TV.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
To learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
And let's take a look at game numbers, Rick.
Okay, for the Cochrane-Fountain City Pirates, they were led in scoring by a couple of guys. Cameron Lipinski and Landon Halverson each had 15 points. They also had Porter Erat with 13. Then we had Drew Wicca and Fletcher Theusch. And they each had 5. Austin Arnberg had 6. Reed Schmidtnet had 9. And Peyton Nelson had 3. For the Vikings, Aiden Fisher had 12, but that was overshadowed by Elijah Ensminger. Hensminger hit, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 2-pointers, a 3-pointer, and went 6 for 8 from the free throw line and came up with 31 points. And actually, he was followed by Mason Yarrington, who hit 5 3-pointers and 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 17 points. Then, as we said, Aiden Fisher with 12. Blake Johnson had 5. Eli Ralph with 6. And Orion Nichols and Nate Edwards each had a couple of points. And that brings our final score to 75-71 in favor of the Vikings.
Great effort, all-around great effort for the Colfax Viking boys tonight as they played well against a very good opponent tonight. So,
high-speed game. It was physical. The Vikings showed that they can get up and down the floor. One of the things that our colleague, Dan Petschow, and he's under the weather today, and I hope you get better quick, Dan, because we got a lot of basketball left this week. But he always talks about the transition game, and the Vikings really showed that tonight. They got back on defense quickly. They turned defensive rebounds into quick rushes for oftentimes scores on offense. So that transition game really came through for them tonight.
And so we'll get to see it again here on Friday night when the Augusta Beavers come to town. And that game you can see and hear on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN2. And on Thursday night, a conference showdown here for the Lady Vikings. And it's always good to watch it on here, but, for a game like that,
be here.
Best place to be is right here.
They're playing the Mounders. Be here. I know Lynn's going to be here. I'm going to be here. We're hoping Dan is here. If not, we'll drag Jay or somebody in here.
And that'll be a good one. And that one will be on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
That's right.
So we appreciate you joining us tonight. Our camera operator was Lynn Nigeman, and for Rick Olson, executive producer, I'm Jay Fall. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.